Kadosh, Boker Or, Masechet Bava Kamma Daf Samech Bet Amud Aleph, 62a. Says the Gemara. We're talking about right now, we're a few lines down where it says, Lagdish Chitin Vigdish, right? Seorim, right? Which means that this, Rabbi Yehuda is going to be modeh in 4 cases, okay? We started off by saying, Modeh Rabbi Yehuda lachachamim, Mashim makom lechavro lagdish gadish, right? So that Gadish bilvad. Meaning like this, I gave you permission only to put your Gadish in my property. You came and you put the Gadish, but inside you also hid other things inside. You made a safe of it, you made that. I'm only going to be chayav on the Gadish, because I only give you permission to put the Gadish. I'm not chayav on anything else that is going to happen. Now, in another few cases, 4 cases, we're going to say like this. What happens right now if I told you to be Magdish Chitin and you put Seorin instead of Chitin? I told you wheat, you put barley. Second case, seorin, and you put wheat. So instead of barley, I gave you permission to put barley, you put wheat. Third case, chitin, v'chipan b'seorin. I told you to put chitin, but you covered the chitin with seorin. Number 4, right? Seorin, and you covered it with chitin. She'eno meshalem el dmei seorin bilvad. You only have to pay the dmei seorin. Okay? So in this case, you only have to pay the dmei seorin. Okay.
Cover to trick the guy.
I'm not sure exactly why he covered it. Let me just see here. Yeah, I don't know why he covered it, but he just said, I guess maybe it was like a shmirah. It was like he wanted to protect it, so he put like an outer layer, something like that. Okay, but let's see something also very, very similar. Amar Rava comes and he says like this: Anoten dinar zahav leisha. Imagine you give a golden coin to a woman to watch it. Amarla, and he tells her, "Izaribo, be very, very careful. Shel kesevu, it's silver. Hezikato, right?
Not marrying her with it.
No.
It's going to come, I'm sure.
One second. Hezikato, if she went and she destroyed it, Meshalemet dinar zahav, she has to pay zahav.
Even though it's this.
Mishum damarla, because he told her, "May have ligabed zaktach." Why did you come and why did you destroy it? Right? But Pash'aba, boy, if she was only pshia, she only pays kesef. The amrale, because she could tell him, which means like this. I'm looking at the coin. The coin is gold. But he comes and he says, be very, very careful. When you're watching it, it's silver. So if she comes and she destroys it, she has to pay gold. Why? He could tell her, why are you destroying my things? And you saw it was gold. And you're the one that's destroying it. So you're going to be chayav to pay everything. But what happens if she was negligent? She lost it, whatever, it got lost. Or whatever it is, stolen, but negligence. So what happens? She only has to pay silver. Why? Because she could tell him, listen, I only accepted upon myself to watch something of silver because you told me it was silver. I didn't accept it upon gold. Now, even though she saw it and it was gold, he said it was silver. So therefore, that's it. So Amaleh Rav Mordechai Ravashi says Mordechai to Ravashi, Atum bedrava matnitula. You guys are learning this in the name of Rava. Because this is Amar Rava, right? This was in the name of Rava. Anan matnita pshita, but we learned it from the Mishnah. The Mishnah says chitin v'chipan sorin, sorim v'chipan chitin. What do we learn in the Mishnah? If it was wheat and you covered it with barley, or barley and you covered it with wheat, right? You only pay the barley. Alma Amaleh, so he could tell him, I only accepted by myself to watch over seorim. So too, the same thing. Right? The exact same thing. Amra lei, so he could say the same thing. Meaning, you judge a book by its cover. Meaning, I didn't know what was inside. So I come and I give you this. And on the outside, it looks like a certain thing. I'm only chayav on that which I could see. I'm not going to be chayav on anything else. Okay? Fine. Next. By Amar Rav, says Rav, Shamat minta l'Rabbi Yehuda v'lo yada mahi. I heard something once from Rabbi Yehuda, but I don't know what it was. Amar Shmuel v'lo yada abba mashu. Wait, you don't know what he said? Rabbi Yehuda de mechayav nisket amun be'esh asu takanat nigzal b'isho. To do with Rabbi Yehuda that you're going to be chayav nisket tamun by fire, they made a takanat nigzal by a fire. What does that mean? Tvarim which are timunim, which are destroyed by a fire of a human being, so he has to swear on it, right? That means even and then according to that, that's why he's going to collect it. Okay, he's going to have to come and he's going to have to pay for it, but he has to swear. Okay, so he comes and he says, and that's how he's going to collect. So says the Gemara, or lo? Did they do takanat nigzal in a case of a malshin or not? Masor is somebody that gives over, right? Mesira. So he's giving over, or not? So aliba de mandamar, according to the mandamar, lo darina dina de garmi, right? That you're not going to judge the concept of garmi. Lo tibay lecha, we're not going to say anything. The masrot nami lo darina, because according to him, we're not going to judge it in a case of the masor. Ki tibay lecha, when is the case? Aliba de mandamar darina dina de garmi. According to the mandamar, that we're going to judge dina de garmi. Okay, so he says, so asuta kanat, right? So asuta kanat nigzal b'masor, mishtaba, right? The mishtaba v'shakil or lo? Did they do takanat nigzal by a masor that he's swearing and then he's going to take, or not? What does that mean? One more time. This guy comes and he gives over the property to, let's say, the government or to whoever it is. So now, in such a case of a malshin of this guy, what do? We made that technically you could swear, and then you take away from him. You swear how much did you lose because of him, and then you just take. So do we have that takana or not? Take it. We don't have an answer. Okay. So now we're going to bring a story. How gavra the batash bekaspeta de chavre. There was a person that he came, right, and right. There was a person that he came, and what did he do exactly? He says that he was ba'at. He comes and he kicked, right, the money. Right, Tivat Ksafim, he says of his friend, Shadia Benada, and he threw it into the river by kicking it. So so comes the owners and he said, this is how much was inside. He was looking into it. What's halacha? So says Ravina to Ravacha, the son of Rava. The Amril, and some people say Ravacha Berei, and some people say it's Ravacha, the son of Rava to Ravashi. Lavainu Matzniti, that's our Mishnah. The Tanam, as we learned to the Mishnah, Umodim Chachamim Rabbi Yehuda. The Chachamim are going to be modim to Rabbi Yehuda. The Malik Tabira. If you're going to light the Migdal, you remember this tower, you have to pay everything that's inside of it. But that's normal to keep things inside. Which means that the takana is that the person that's damaged is going to collect whatever is inside of it, right? Just like it was going to be with the shua. So you swear and you collect. So if so, it comes out that it's going to be obvious, right? That it's also going to be in such a case. So Amalei, so he comes and he says, either Katay and Zuze, right? Achanami. He says, you're right. If he's going to come and he's going to say that there was money inside of the thing, so then you're right. What we're dealing with the Katay Maganita, that he said that there was jewels, right? So what's halacha? Do you put jewelry in a kasefet or not? So he comes and he says, take, you don't have an answer. Okay? So Amalei Rav Yemel Ravashi, he says Rav Yemel to Ravashi, Ta'in kasa de kasva bira. What happens if he put a kesef, right? A gavia of kesef, right? What's halacha? Amalei, he says, Chazina, we're going to see inish amidu, if he's rich, that he has this such thing, or inami inish me'emnahu, or is a person that is believed. That they come and that they put these things there. What does that mean? That people put these expensive utensils by him. Meaning, imagine right now, I come and say, inside of that thing was a very expensive jewel, or a very expensive gavia of kos. So he says you have to do it. So nishtaba v'shakil, swear, and you take the money. But if not, no. Meaning if the guy is poor, he can't start saying, I had a gold set of cutlery. Like, a gold set of cutlery. The guy is poor. What does he have? So no, we're not going to believe him. But if it's something that he could have, he swears and then he takes.
What if he had all of his assets in there?
Fine, but we check. That's what we're saying. We're going to look according to his assets. So Amalei Ravada Berei Rav Avia Ravashi. Says Ravada, the son of Rav Avia to Ravashi, Ma ben Gazlan and Chamsan. What's the difference between a Gazlan and a Chamsan? So Amalei tells him, Chamsan Yaiv Dameh. A Chamsan, he gives the money. Gazlan, Lo Yav Dameh. But a Gazlan does not give money. That means a Gazlan, he just steals it. A Chamsan, he steals it, but he's going to give you some money for it. You didn't want to sell it. No, but that's a Chamsan. That's a Chamsan here. Okay, that's the word Chamsan by us. So Amalei, so he tells him, so if he's giving the money, why are you calling him a Chamsan? If I come and I force you to sell something, it's a good sale. So why are you calling it Chamsan? So he says, it's not a question. If he comes and he says Rotzeani, so therefore in such a case, right? That's what we're talking about over here. Talu v'zavin. He sold it. He sold it. But if he says that he doesn't say rotzeani, and therefore basically I took it against your will and I took it by force, so then that's a chamsa. Yeah, that's a chamsa. Okay. Samech bet amu bet. 62b. Gets, which is an itzotz, like a spark, right? She comes out of the hammer. The zik and it damages, you're going to be chayav. Gamal shayatahu pishtam ve'avar reshut rabim. When you have a gamal that is inside, that has carrying flax or whatever it is, and it passes, you have a camel carrying flax and it goes by the reshut rabim, and the pishtan goes inside of the chanut. And what happens is it lights up with the flame of the chenvani. So the chenvani had a candle and it got all on fire. The bala gamal is going to be chayav, right? Why? Because basically, since the pishtan came into the store and then it got lit with the fire, so therefore he's going to be chayav. But if the candle was on the outside, the chenvani is going to be chayav. Why? Because your fire, which is on the outside, was the one that caught onto my gamal. Rabbi Yudah says, "B'ner Chanukah, you're going to be patur." Okay, makes sense? Ner Chanukah, you're going to be patur. So says the Gemara, Amar Ravina Mishmed Rava. Says Ravina in the name of Rava. Shema mina min Rabbi Yehuda, we learn from Rabbi Yehuda. Ner Chanukah is a mitzvah lanicha betoch hasara. That Ner Chanukah is going to be a mitzvah to place it 10 tefachim from the ground. Disaga, but if you're going to tell me na lamala masara, you could put it above 10. Why does Rabbi Yehuda come and he say Ner Chanukah is going to be patur? Elmaleh, you should say Havale lanucha lemala. Just put it up on top, right? Put it on top of the gamal v'rochmo. From here we learn that there's a certain height that you're supposed to put the Ner Chanukah, which is going to be mitzvah lanicha betoch hasara. Meaning like this: if you're going to say that you could put it whatever height that you want, obligate the balachanut and tell him that you have to put it above a certain measurement. Why do we say that you're not going to be chayav to put it above a certain measurement? Because there's a certain measurement that you put in. That's it. So therefore, that's why the Ner Chanukah is supposed to be there. So Amri, they said no. Really, could tell you it's still going to be kosher. So my Marta, you said that you could have put it above from the Gamal and Rechuo. Kevan the mitzvah kasi, since he's doing a mitzvah, the rabbis didn't obligate him to do so much of a tircha. The Amar of Kana says, ner Chanukah shenicha lemala me-20 amot psula, ben kedin sukkah ve'mavoi. So if you put it above 20 amot, it's going to be pasul, just like a sukkah or a mavoi. Hadran alach hakones. So you finish the chapter of hakones. Next Mishnah. Okay, merubeh. We're talking about now the perek of merubah. Okay, Samech bet amud bet, chapter 7. Okay, perek shvi. Says the Mishnah, merubah midat tashlumei kefel midat tashlumei Bava Kamma. It's much more tashlumei kefel, more than, that means there's more cases of kefel than 4 and 5. You always pay double whether it has life or it doesn't have life. Meaning whatever you stole, you're going to pay double. Doesn't matter whether it's an inanimate object or it's got a life. Doesn't matter. That's what Bava Kamma is only going to be a shor vaseh, in an ox and a sheep. Pilvad. That's the only case that you're going to pay arba, right? Arba v'chamisha, chamisha v'arba tzon. That's it. En agonev achar ganav mishalem tashlume kefel. If you steal from a ganav, you don't pay kefel. Okay? V'lo hatoveach v'lo hamocher achar ganav. Or if you were tovach v'mocher after the ganav, you also don't pay arba v'chamisha. Meaning for you to pay the 4 or 5 times, you had to steal. And if you steal, then you sold or slaughtered it, now you pay arba v'chamisha. But if somebody else steals, and now you come and you slaughter it or sell it, you don't pay arba v'chamisha. The same halacha is that if you didn't steal it, but you stole from the ganav, so you also don't pay kefil. Because the kefil is only on the original stealing. Okay? Says the Gemara, ve'ilu midat tashlumei kefil nohega b'em ganav b'toen tana ganav. Do you know that also tashlumei kefil is whether you're a ganav or toen tanat ganav? Toen tanat ganav, for example, I come and I tell you, tishmor al zeh. I come back to it, I say, where is it? What are you talking about? You're or you say it was stolen. So in such a case where you are to'en tanat ganav, you also have to pay the kefil. I mean, that's a shmei chamisha, but the arba v'chamisha is only ganav itself. Meaning if you come and you said it was stolen, you don't have to pay back the 4 and 5 times. The 4 and 5 times is only by a ganav or to'en tanat ganav, right? Sorry, by the kefil. And tashumei arba v'chamisha is only by the ganav. Right? So he says, Misayel Rabbi Chia bar Abba, there's a proof to Rabbi Chia bar Abba, Rabbi Chia bar Abba, Rabbi Yochanan, Hatuen Tana Garav b'Pikadon, he has to pay Tashume Kefel. Tavachu Machar, he has to pay Tashume Arba v'Chamisha. Ika de'amri, there are those that say, Lim Misayele, why don't we say there's a proof to Rabbi Chia bar Abba, Rabbi Chia bar Abba, Rabbi Yochanan, Hatuen Tana Garav b'Pikadon, he's going to pay Tashume Kefel. Tavachu Machar, Mishan Tashume Arba v'Chamisha. So since Miktani and Ben, do we say there's no differences between them? We said Merubah Ktani. Meaning like this, and Ben, we have this in Megillah. There's a lot of M Bens, meaning there's no difference between A and B, but rather 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or whatever it is. Right here, we didn't say that. We just said that there's more cases of kefil than arba v'chamisha. More cases, merubah. There's more, right? There's like rov, like marbeh. You're having more. So he says merubah ktani. So tana v'shir. So we left over a few different cases as well, right? And therefore, according to Ruchia Baraba, right? According to the first nusach, there's no hevdel between en ben and merubah because you're not going to say the shir, and therefore there's a raya from the Mishnah according to Rabbi Chia bar Abba. Okay, fine. The two dots. Midat hashume kefel noheget. We just said that kefel is on anything. Doesn't matter whether it's an inanimate object or an inanimate or living object. Doesn't matter. Okay, but the arba v'chamisha, no. How do we know these words? The Tanur Rabbanan is the writer taught al kol davar pesha klal. The general rule is on anything which is a pesha. Al shor chamor al salma is a prat. On a sheep, donkey, on an ox, donkey, sheep, and a salma. How do you say salma in English? Right? After the... So al salma is on any type of a clothing. So prat, it's going to be an individual, meaning it's specific. Al kol aveda on anything which is lost chazar v'klal. Klal prat uchla le'etadel en krem prat. Ma prat mefurash davar mitatel gufo mamon. It's something which is mitatel gufo mamon. So too, it's davar mitatel gufo mamon. Yotzar kakaot shelem mitaltelin. So this comes to exclude kakaot, which is not mitaltelin. Yatzu avadim shukshul kakaot, and it's going to come to be yotzem. It's going to come to exclude avadim, which is ukash to kakaot. Yatzu shtarot, and it's going to exclude also documents. She'af al pi shemetaltelin, because even though it's mitaltelin and gufan mamon, it's not money in itself. Yatza ekdesh. And it also comes to exclude Ekdesh also. Why? Because it says to its friend. You're going to pay to your friend. Obviously, Ekdesh is not Re'u. So it says the Gemara, Ima prata mefurash davar shenivlato metamim b'magam b'masa. I've called davar shenivlato metamim b'masa. Aval ofot lo, but if it's going to be birds, no. So it says the Gemara, can you say such a thing? V'asalma ktiv, it's written in Salma. Salma is not metamim b'magam b'masa. What are we talking about? We're talking about birds. So Amri said, we're talking about balei chayim. So Eim Balei Chayim, right? We're talking about Davar Shenivlato Mitamim Masa. In Davar Shenivlato Mitamim Masa. Lo. So says the Gemara, Deha Kol Chad Uchad, right? Klal Ufrat V'Apenavshe Dashilne. He comes and he says each one we're learning it as Klal Ufrat Uchlal. Aval Ufot Lo. But to do with the birds, we're not learning it that way. Okay, and that's what we're asking. But you're going to tell me Ufot Lo. So then the Gemara is going to continue and we're going to go back and forth. We'll just do a very quick Chazara tomorrow morning.